Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we are talking about Cold Fire by Dean Koontz. Let's get into the synopsis. A man on a mission must come to terms with his forgotten past in this gripping thriller. In Portland, he saved a young boy from a drunk driver. In Boston, he rescued a child from an underground explosion. In Houston, he disarmed a man who was trying to shoot his own wife. Reporter Holly Thorne was intrigued by this strange, quiet savior named Jim Ironheart. She was even falling in love with him. But what power compelled an ordinary man to save 12 lives in 3 months? What visions haunted his dreams? And why did his whisper in his sleep, "There is an enemy. It's coming. It'll kill us all"? So Cold Fire by Dean Koontz is another Dean Koontz book I've been reading. I am very wishy-washy for this one. This is my first one where I was like, which is kind of interesting because I didn't think I was going to have this approach with Cold Fire. The synopsis said, you have a man named Jim Ironheart who basically has like psychic powers to try and figure out somebody needs help. There's going to be a child that needs saving, or a young woman and a child. He has this power, like I said, where he will get a sense, and he always was telling people it's from God. That God just like compels him. He immediately gets a feeling like I have to go save somebody, and he doesn't really know exactly what's going on, but when he gets that moment, he just goes. He doesn't know where it is. He gets just pushed, and then he'll go to the airport, and the airport will just tell him, like something will tell him, this one, we have to go to Boston or Houston or wherever to go save someone. And he doesn't even know who it is yet. And then it will tell him, like, he'll get a sense of like, is this a 24-hour trip or is this a 2-day trip or whatever should he pack? And Jim Ironheart, which is a badass name, Ironheart, badass. He won like a lottery of $6 million. Granted, this is like the 90s, so $6 million is a lot. Granted, nowadays $6 million is a lot. So he doesn't work. He just grabs cash and just dips, which is kind of just cool. He runs into Holly Thorne. Holly is a reporter, and you get to some pretty nice backstory of Holly where she actually hates her life. She hates being a reporter because she doesn't really make up fake like news or anything. She doesn't like how there's like news reporters in this book where they extend or exaggerate the news articles of this, and she just wants to keep it real, which I really enjoy reading. That I thought it was pretty cool. Reading this, I enjoyed a lot of it. I actually enjoyed the first half of it. And Dean Koontz is pretty good at writing characters where they're just hanging out, doing whatever. He's pretty good at doing that. I think Dean Koontz is pretty good at writing like female characters in books. I think he doesn't really make them like damsel in distresses. He gives them a lot of character, makes them like fun and have some character in it, and I really like it. And the way he was writing Jim, I actually enjoyed how he wrote Jim, because Jim was just a very seldom emotionless man that he didn't really know who or what is going on in his life, and he kind of just like let it happen, if that makes sense. So I did enjoy those elements of this book. But my problem is I felt like, so this book is almost 400 pages, and it really felt like 400 pages. Now there's times where I read a 400 page book and I finish it in like 2 days, especially with a Dean Koontz book. I usually buy through his books, but this one just felt like it was very draggy. There's a lot of moments where he did a lot of POV chapters where you got to follow Jim Ironheart, and he was like doing a chase because he was trying to save this woman and daughter, but he didn't save the dad because whatever being told him to just save the mom and daughter, but not the father. So the father died, and so he didn't save him. And it was like trafficking. We're gonna call it trafficking. So he saved the mother and daughter from this. And that was like a whole 40 pages, which was pretty cool. There's also like, he has big gaps where he does that in this book that I just didn't really enjoy as much as I thought I was going to like. And maybe it just wasn't the right time for me to read this book. I just didn't feel like, wow, this book was amazing. So sadly, I gave it like a 3.5 stars. It's my lowest rating Dean Koontz book so far, which is fine. Like I said, I just grab one book off the shelf and then read it, call it good. But I will say Dean Koontz hasn't missed with how he's been writing. He writes very well still, which is clear because he's sold millions of copies of books. So his writing still has not missed a beat. His characters haven't missed a beat. Just the story to me just didn't feel very good to me. I just didn't like it as much as I was hoping. At first I was getting really into it. I thought it was going to be some like weird supernatural thing, because Dean Koontz usually writes really weird things, and this was still weird. I'm not gonna spoil it. This was still weird, but there was a part where they go to a windmill. That's all I'm gonna say. And it becomes kind of cheesy. And that's what really lost me. It felt very cheesy, like the spray can cheese, kind of. And I just was like, oh man, it kind of lost me, dog. So I had that element where I just was not too happy with that part. But Can't do anything about it now. So like I said, I give this book a 3.5 out of 5. Well, on Goodreads you can't give half stars, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. I won't give it a 3. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. What do you guys think about Dean Koontz's Coldfire? Have you read Coldfire, or do you want to read Coldfire? And if you have, let me know what you guys thought about Coldfire down below. I would love to know. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.